Welcome to Shaman Sense, the show that takes the BS out of being spiritual. I'm Adrian Bear, and I'm recording live in the beautiful city of Phnom Penh, Cambodia, the heart of Southeast Asia. So, everyone, I started my series on spirits, and I did episode 10, What Are Spirits, and episode 11, all about what is God. I'm going to continue that series, just like I'm going to continue my series on explaining astrology a little bit later on, so you guys can take a chill pill, fucking wait, I'll get back to it. Today, I'm going to make an episode all about tarot. What the fuck is tarot and how does it work? Alright guys, for those of you out there that don't know, tarot cards are just that. They're like cards with different pictures on. In standard tarot decks, there are two sort of like major groups. You have what they call the major arcana, and then you have the minor arcana. The major arcana has cards numbered from 0 all the way up to 21, and the minor arcana is kind of like regular old playing cards, just with different names. So they will run from an ace up to 10, and then they've got 4 court cards. So instead of just a jack, a queen, and a king, you've got a page, you have a knight, you have a queen, and you have a king. Now, there are variations and loads and loads and loads of variations on tarot decks. Like, some of them might use Native American themes, some of them might use more Celtic or shamany kind of themes. It doesn't actually fucking matter at the end of the day. The point is, how does this shit work? Imagine that each of these cards has a certain set to it. It has a certain set, a certain amount of rules, or a certain expression. It can even have like you can even think of it as a certain scene in a movie, alright? So these cards all have a different scene in a movie, a different set or expression. And when you shuffle those cards and you're asking a question, you're actually using the cards sort of like a quantum computer, right? What you're doing is that you're tapping into this big-ass source field code out there, whether it's like the collective unconscious like Carl Jung talks about, or it's something else. I have no fucking idea. But I like to think of it in terms of there is a probability here that exists in the cloud, and that probability relates to a certain card because it sort of feels the same, has the same kind of energy. So you're going to ask a question of the tarot. You can be like, I'm wondering what are the possible outcomes if I decide to move to Brazil? And then you're going to shuffle those cards. You're going to feel that question inside there, and that computer out there, the sort of ethereal quantum computer, is going to use these cards to present you with possibilities, statistical possibilities, as they exist right now at this moment. You're going to deal those cards out, and then it's up to whoever's reading it to interpret those possibilities. Tarot is usually read like a story. Some cards interact with other cards, some cards counteract other cards. Like imagine it's kind of like a scene in a movie, so if you had to imagine all of them as being part of a storyboard, you read it all together. Now, again, is this shit quantifiable? Who knows? My personal belief about reading tarot is that it is actually very short-lived, especially with some people. Some folks out there have a lot more control in their lives than other people have. Some people will be very set on their choices that they're making. They're very slow, they're very steady. Some people, like myself unfortunately, actually counteract a lot of what is going on and what is supposed to go on because of impatience or because of like more drive or energy or whatever. So when you're reading tarot, my personal belief is that it's not very accurate for most people further than, I would say, a maximum of 3 months. Like, I would even say a maximum of 1 week. If you watched my last episode all about God, and you better have watched my fucking last episode, I described reality as being sort of like a mushroom. And every time we make a choice, we have to make all possible choices. And our personal perception is where we are on this mushroom sort of field. But watch the last episode and I'll explain a bit more about that. So, Because we're asking a question of, oh, what is the likelihood of this? We're presented with new information. So now, because we're presented with new information, we can change the outcome of this future. And new stuff happens all the time, which actually ends up changing the possible future. There's no one set future, especially with where your perception is. So tarot readings can be very illuminating, more, in my opinion, for questions about your past or questions about your own psyche. If you're asking things about the future, well, it can get kind of muddy because that shit changes all the time. And like I said, some folks end up changing their future and changing their mind way more often than others. For some people, this reading might be fucking accurate for days at a time, for months at a time, or even years at a time. For other folks, not so much. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed Shaman Sense episode 12. I am going to New Zealand for 5 weeks and I'm going to film a couple of episodes over there for you guys. If you have any questions about spirituality or concepts you'd like the BS taken out of, email me on abarefordshaman@gmail.com. If any of you guys are viewing from New Zealand and in the Hamilton or Auckland area while I'm in New Zealand from the 29th of May all the way up to the 6th, I would love to meet you guys. It would be awesome to hang out with some viewers. Alright everyone, I'm Adrian Bear. Peace.